Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? I thought you weren't coming to these classes.
No, it was Thursday after 2
Ah.
and 3. Yeah, because my flight is at 2 in your time zone.
Oh, I see. Hi, everyone. My name's Samantha. This is an intermediate speaking class, and today we are going to practice answering some job interview questions. So come on in.
Do you know what that star alongside our name stands for?
No. I think everybody has one.
Except Abdulaziz Karachi.
Yes, he does.
Oh.
Yes. You don't see it?
No, my screen maybe is
Zoom
too...
out. Yeah, it might be.
I don't like it.
The star?
Yeah, why do we need that?
I'm not sure what it's there for. I tried like clicking on it. I'm afraid to touch it while I'm afraid to touch it because I might like accidentally block something. So I'm just gonna let it be. So, hi Morrow.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Thanks. And hi John.
Hi Samantha, how are you?
How are you? Good, thanks. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Cool. And hi Karar. Karar, can you hear me?
Is that coming from you?
Okay. Hi Marta. Marta, can you hear me, Marta?
Yes, I was muted, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Nice to see you. Where are you from, Marta?
From Italy?
Italy, cool. It sounds like someone's listening to the radio, maybe, or something. I hear some... I think it might be John. Yes. John, I'm just going to mute you for now, but unmute yourself whenever you want to talk, okay? There's just some noise coming from your computer. So, we're going to practice job interview questions today. So I have a list of questions, and I have some in my head, but I'm just going to take turns asking you guys each different questions just to get practice speaking, and I'll give you feedback on your answers, the way you've worded things, just to kind of prepare you for whenever you have a job interview in English. So we'll just jump right into it because we only have an hour and I want you guys to all get a chance to speak. Hi, Carlos. Welcome.
Hi.
How's it going?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. So let's start with any volunteers, or should I choose someone?
Put someone on the spot.
Morrow.
Okay.
Okay. Here's a question for you. What did you like or dislike most about your previous job?
Oh, it's a very hard question.
I know, that's why I'm asking. So,
is there a kind of I don't know, an answer that you can sorry, is it better to be honest or no in this kind of a situation?
It's best to be professional. So I'm trying to think of the right word.
Diplomatic.
Diplomatic. Thank you. That's a good word. Tactful. So you don't want to just start gushing and saying, "Oh, it was the worst job ever. My boss was terrible. I basically hated everyone,
Yeah,
so I
that's
quit."
one of the
And
worst
you know,
mistakes.
yeah, that's a big mistake, right? Because
Okay.
then the employer's going to sit there and wonder, "Oh no, like what are they going to say about us when they're not at work?" And they they won't trust you. So you have to be professional and try to word your answer carefully.
Okay. Okay. A possible answer can be I liked my previous job because it was very stimulating. Can I say that?
Mhm.
But I didn't like because it wasn't. It wasn't. I can't find a word.
Okay, so that's a good start. So a good idea is to start by saying what you like, right?
Yeah.
So let's keep it positive. You could also twist it and say, I'm going to quickly say something that I didn't like as much and then end on a positive note. You could do it either way. But you could say, for example, here, I've got some sample answers.
Sorry.
Well, I did. I'm just going to a possible negative response. So you could end it with something like this. Well, I did enjoy working there and appreciate the skills I developed while with the company. I feel my skill set can be better utilized elsewhere, where my capabilities are more recognized and there's more opportunity for growth. Right? So you're not
Very
bashing
good.
this job. You don't want to bash a company. Do you know what I mean? Bash means say bad things about a company. So you don't want to say anything negative about them or their employees or anything. You just want to explain how you are more useful elsewhere, right? So you could say, well, it was a really great opportunity. I learned so much. I feel like it's time to move on and I'm moving forward. So instead of focusing on the net bad things about the company, you can just focus on your own goals. So you can kind of
Okay.
answer the question the way you need to, right?
I like very much the verb that you used to move on.
Yeah, so it's time to move forward. It's time for me to explore my career options, to whatever. So you can try to kind of word it that way so you're not saying, well, basically, I hate my boss. You know,
I
he
hate
doesn't
my
pay
colleagues.
me enough. Yeah, I'm working too many hours. I don't get along with anyone. It's the worst company ever. No, no, no. That's not a good idea. So you have to be careful about how you word things. Do you want to try it
Yeah.
again, Mauro?
Okay, I try. I like my previous job for the opportunity that I had, but I'd like to grow up, to move on to better opportunities for my career. Is it better?
Yeah, definitely. It's just time for me. You would say it's time for me to move on to other opportunities, for sure. Perfect.
Yes.
That was much better. Yeah. Um, is there a delay?
I'm sorry?
A delay.
A delay? Not for me.
No, it seems fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear you after 2 minutes.
Oh,
I'll refresh my page.
yeah, just refresh it. That's strange. Okay. Good
Oh,
job,
that's
Mark.
horrible.
Let's try another question. Okay. Let's go to Marta. Marta, are you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
hopefully.
You're like, I don't know, I'm going to pretend my microphone's broken.
No, I must try.
What major challenges and problems did you face, and how did you handle them? We're still talking about your last job.
Okay. So, just a thing before starting. So, if I am applying to a job that is completely different from the previous job I was into, what should I answer? Should I invent? Should I recreate my past reality?
Right. So if your new job is going to be completely different, you still want to try to think of skills and experiences that you had that can somehow apply to your
Okay.
new job. So things like interpersonal skills. Are you working with people?
Okay.
If you're working with people, that applies to a lot of different jobs, right?
Okay.
So you want to try to pick out general kind of points
Yeah.
that link between the two jobs. So you can say, oh, well, I really built on this skill. I know that I can grow it even more in this new position, right?
Okay.
So even if it's a completely different field, you can still work it, right? You just have to kind of play with your words a little bit.
Okay. So the major challenges that I found uh, were to interact daily with new people, with a wide range of people, and to develop with each of them a different kind of relation. So I had to vary a lot during a single day. For example, my kind of conversational skills. Um, Moreover, I found it difficult but not impossible to adapt to a very busy working context, but I did it eventually, and I found not very simple to become proficient in a contest that is very dynamic. So I had to face different problems, and I had to practice a kind of uh, divergent thinking to solve problems, a wide range of problems.
That was really, really good. Very good. Because I love how what you're doing, you're answering the question. It's a hard question, right? They're asking you to tell them about challenges and even some failures. And what you're doing is answering that question, but then you're putting a positive spin on it, right? So you're saying, well, I faced this, but I managed to overcome it. Well, this was really difficult, but over time I got there, and that's really good. That was awesome. The only thing I would say is try to shorten your answer a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was fine. It was really good. It's just one of the things that I talk a lot. I don't know if you guys notice, but one of the things that
Yeah.
I have had trouble with in interviews is talking too much. And then I worked for people for a couple years, and we'll talk about the interview later down the line. And they're like, "Yeah, I was wondering if you were ever going to shut up." But besides that, it was great. Like, oh no. So, because you're friends with them and it's fine, right? But
Okay.
interviewers don't want really long answers. They want you to be able to kind of get to the point. So usually one or two examples is more than enough for a
Okay.
question. But you answered that very, very well. And that was a tough one too. That's
I
good.
was afraid of not answering
I know. Because you're afraid
sufficiently.
that you haven't said enough, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've
I was
answered it
wrong.
yet. Yeah.
Okay.
But that was really good. So once you've given one example, you can probably start to wrap up your answer after that.
Okay.
So try to think of the best example that you can. And then if you a few minutes later you go, "Oh, I should have said this." It's okay. Just move along. Just move on. Is my video cutting out? I don't know. Is it?
No.
No? It seems I mean, I everyone's video seems fine for me. Frickin' maybe you're having some
Maybe it's a lot.
It's a little bit slow.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm like,
I don't know.
wow, you are frozen. Oh,
I'm
okay.
frozen?
Frozen.
Am I moving?
No. Please.
Okay.
Like, you're here,
You're
and
moving.
here.
I'm like a mime. Oh, it's like I'm doing like the robot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Don't do that in an interview. What just happened there? Not okay in an interview. Okay, that was really good, Marta. Very good. Very tactful answer. I liked it. Okay, let's find a tough one. Okay, here's a good one. This one is for dun dun dun. Carlos.
Yeah.
How do you handle stress and pressure?
It's a difficult question, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It's difficult to handle stress and pressure in a specific moment. Oof, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
let's look at some possible answers, and then we'll come back and let you try to answer it your way, okay?
Yeah.
So here's some options. You could say something like this. Stress is very important to me. With stress, I do the best possible job that I can. The appropriate way to deal with stress is to make sure I have the correct balance between good and bad stress. I need good stress to stay motivated and productive. So this is one way to say, I embrace stress, right? I understand that stress happens, but I look for the good in it, right? I use it to motivate me to go forward. That's one way to answer. Or you could say something like this.
I think that from my point of view, stress is bad in all ways. I think. No.
Good. So that's one. This is one option, and then here's another option. I react to situations rather than to stress. That way, the situation is handled and doesn't become too stressful. There's another way to answer it. It's like, I don't let myself get stressed because I react before it gets to that point. There's another way. So there's lots of ways that you can answer. So I don't know if Carlos, let's try it again. So if you think that stress is always a negative thing, how can we shape that into an answer for an interview? If they ask you, so how do you handle stress? What would you tell them?
Yeah. I will try to excuse me. I have a cat in over the
I see
on
the cat.
table.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The cat just wants to learn English. Okay.
Okay. I will try to answer the question, saying that I think in my case I try to avoid the stress in all situations, because in my opinion stress is bad, but it's obvious that one person in her or his job needs to motivation to develop his or her work, but I think that that stress in general terms is bad. We should to avoid it.
Good.
Okay.
Perfect. Right. So
Yeah.
then you want to just say how to avoid it. So you would say, to me, stress is a negative thing. So the most important thing for me to do is avoid it. And then you would say, to avoid stress, I don't know. I stay organized and I get my things done on time. And so you tell them, right? This is how, yeah. So I'm proactive and I don't let myself get stressed, right? So you have to dance around your answer a little bit. It's good. I put two other options. You could say something like, I actually work better under pressure, and I found that I enjoy working in a challenging environment. That's another way to say that you're embracing it.
Yeah.
Or you could say, and this might be completely honest, you could say, from a personal perspective, I manage stress by visiting the gym. It's a
Okay.
good stress reducer. So maybe you could tell them, yeah, I get stressed. We all get stressed. I manage my stress by working out. Or I manage my stress by, taking a few hours for myself on the weekend or whatever.
Okay.
So, yeah, lots of different ways to answer that one. Yeah,
Awesome.
good. That was good. That's a hard, I gave you a really hard one, but it's okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Karar, yeah, we mentioned this last time, Karar. That's a great point. So, about your actual speaking, it's better to stop and think than to go, don't really stress out because,
Yeah.
oh, now it's cutting out a little bit. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay. You rather than going, don't like really stress because I like work out. That's not good. So you rather than doing the and especially saying like, it's actually better to just try to just zip it. Just
Excellent.
try to not talk while you're try to not adding those extra sounds. If you do it a little bit, it's okay. But it's better to not do it too much because
Yeah, I actually have a very bad
keep
feature
silent
about
when
that.
you think.
Whenever someone's keep saying, I can't stop myself laughing.
The worst is like, in my opinion, the worst is like, and I still do it all the time, but my dad really hammered it into me. Whenever I would say like when I'm talking like as a like filler to like say words when I like don't like know like what like I want to like say.
Oh, wow.
It sounds terrible, right? It doesn't sound good, so people pick up on that. So be really careful about using like as a filler. It doesn't sound very good. I know you'll hear it all the time in natural speech, but
And
an
so,
interviewer will pick up on that. They will. So try not to. Tap dancing is your specialty. It's the tap dance of words, right? Yeah, it's necessary a little bit in interviews. Okay, let's try another tough one. Okay. Here we go. About who's my next victim? Karar?
Yep. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Okay. Here we go. How do you evaluate success? First of all, what does this question mean? Does everyone understand the question?
Improve.
Yeah. That means how
How
can you judge the success?
Yeah. So what makes you feel successful? How do you rate success? What makes you feel like you've succeeded? That's kind of the question. So how do you evaluate success?
First of all, anything I would like to work in or start to be part of a matter or something like that, I would like to be the best. So success for me is to be the best. That's the first point. Secondly, I would like to give all my effort with the full of enthusiasm and ambition to make my goal. Thirdly, I aim at to do all the points and all the goals of the company, of the place that I work in. Fourth, I will make something special, something is different from anyone do it, to make all my work is excellent. I say like what I say, yeah.
Yeah, you said like a few times. Oh.
Yeah.
Just think, but you know what? What happened to me is once somebody said it to me, I could not stop thinking about it. So now whenever I say like, oh no, don't. Because it's in your head now. So yeah.
And one of the more important points to judge success, to do not think about failure, to do your best. to do not lose any moment left from you. Um, Forget anything about stress or failure or any problems we'll have. Every work has a problem, but how can you solve it immediately, and how can you depend on yourself at first, and to make a conversation, and to do not put yourself on the special opinion of yourself. Do not be dictator. Success is a great thing, actually.
What was the last word you said? Do not be
Dictator.
a dictator.
Dictator. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. I tried to reword something you were trying to say. Were you trying to say, I tried to make myself stand out, like amongst your colleagues? Is that
Yeah.
kind of what you were trying? Yeah. So that's one way to word that. I tried to make myself stand out. And you could add amongst my colleagues. So that kind of, you're basically saying, I don't want to be one of the pack. I want my boss to recognize that I do extra work, or that I want to stand out. Yeah, that's a good way to word that. Make yourself stand out. And it has positive connotation more so than negative, so it's a good way to word it. And you could say, rather than saying forget anything about stress, you want to say that you forget all about something. I forget all. It's important to forget all about stress and the potential to fail.
Get all of stress, yeah.
Yeah, the possibility of failure, right?
The possibility of
Because you don't
failure.
want to think about, yeah, so the potential to fail or the possibility of failure. Yeah, that was a really good answer. Strong, for sure. Think about your liking. Besides that, it was very, very good. And just a few word things. Don't get caught up trying to speak too quickly either, because you're speaking really quickly, which is great. But I think that you might be stumbling on your words a little bit when you actually know how to say it perfectly. It's just that you're speaking so fast, maybe that you're losing some of your words.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
don't rush yourself.
I need
Don't rush
time
yourself.
to think. I need time to think and choose my vocabs correctly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because you're speaking faster than you can think. So you're
Yeah.
stumbling. But I think if you were to just kind of go a little bit slower, then you'll get all of those words out that you want to, you know?
You know, 3 months ago, my speaking was really slowly. And
Yeah.
now I practice, I want to say faster and faster, and I know faster than the natural speech. It's my problem now. The last 3 months, it was like a goal. Now it's like a problem.
You know what, though? The way that you're speaking, this speed, perfectly fine. Like, if you and I were to start having a conversation, I would be talking like this really, really quickly, because this is how I actually speak. But when you're at an interview or this sort of situation, it sounds more professional when you slow yourself down a little bit and kind of take your time. That's the
You
same
should
for
make
me. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
should-
native speaker, you know?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
you
just
should make.
taking your time and going, you know, it sounds more professional, so it's good. But when you're with friends, it's fine to speak quickly. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
The
sometimes
listeners
forget to think,
only
and then
is-
you just start. Yeah. Yeah. No, but really good, really good. Okay.
Thanks.
We've got some questions. When you write a cover letter, do you use you can kind of choose, but you need to remain consistent, Emmanuel, to answer your question. The most important thing is that you stick to one tense through the whole thing. Okay? That's the most important thing. Don't bounce between tenses. And hi, Lucas. Hi, everybody. I think it was just the one question. So I'm just going to type. Okay, another question. Dun, dun, dun. Wait, let me choose someone first. Who hasn't gone yet? MJ.
Yeah, hello.
Are you ready?
Yes, I think.
Okay. So for this,
Why do you...
you'll have to use your imagination. Pretend you're really in an interview and it's a job that you really want. Pretend that you're interviewing for your dream job or something, okay?
Uh-huh.
So why do you want this job? Seems like a simple question, but
Yes.
you have to be careful about your answer.
Yeah,
So
but it's
don't,
behind is really...
frickin' immediately. Don't say, well, because I want to be rich and you guys pay a lot. No. Okay. So, MJ, why do you want this job?
First of all, this job will help the school my skill. This job help to improve my skills. So it means actually I really want to work this kind of job. Before, my previous job was not like this, but I'm still to improving my skills. So now I think I can work on this situation, this job. I can do this job. So it will be this job will be the big one of my big will be my one of my big success in my life.
Success.
Yes, success.
So what do you mean by it will help with your education?
Help for skills.
So you mean that you can use your education to help you in the job? Or, oh, it will help with your skills. Okay, so yeah, so if you say education, in English that strictly sounds like going to school. Like, so your education is your college degree or your university degree, your high school. That's your education. Otherwise, you could say you want to improve your qualifications or your skills. Yeah, but not education. Education is a very specific word. So yes, qualifications, skills. So you're telling me you want this job to improve your qualifications?
Yeah, actually, I mean, for my case is I was working in the salesperson before, but now I really want to work in the marketing department. Maybe it's my future job like this. So that's why my previous job was I was still to improving my skill. It's like always communicate my customers. It's like in front line. So that's why now I'm getting ready to this job, the marketing maybe manager, there's maybe level higher than middle. So it means I'm ready to work, and it's maybe my one of big goal. It was my one of big goals. So I'm really want to.
Okay. So good. So
sorry,
let me help you word that. So you want to express that.
I can't hear you.
It's lagging.
And
yeah,
crazily,
lagging.
like you're
very difficult when you're talking and just like your.
There's delay.
It's like Godzilla.
yeah, just like
like look, Godzilla.
Yeah, without it's little.
Should I refresh? I'll refresh. I'll be back in 1 second.
And I was thinking that all problems about me.
No, we have same problem.
The problem is from the stars in the chat, maybe.
It's the stars. The stars are causing all of this. Does it seem better now, or am I still?
Now it's better.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully it's not too bad. I was just going to say I'll help you word what you're trying to express that your previous job was in customer service maybe, and now you're wanting to shift more to marketing.
Yes.
So you want to tell them, you want to show that you're excited about changing career paths, but that your experience even though it might, so you would say something like, even though my experience at this customer service position isn't exactly the same as what you're looking for this job, I still did this, this, and this, which I believe will apply to this new job. And I'm very excited about expanding my horizons, you could say. That's a bit fancy, but you could say
Okay, I got it.
expanding my horizons, it sounds right. But you could say I'm very excited about applying the qualifications that I have and learning new things, adding new qualifications too, you know. I'm excited to improve myself and blah, blah, blah. So you want to express that your last job still applies to this one, even though it's different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But good answer. Sorry if I'm like cutting out and sounding all robotic. I don't know what's going on there. Probably my cat probably did something. Stupid cat. I just don't like the cat.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It was a good answer though. Okay, here's a tough one. Hi, Roseanne. Nice to see you. This one is for Firkin. What are your salary requirements?
Wow. Is that a
Fun
question? I'm not even sure how should I answer that. Like,
take a stab at it, and then we'll look at some options after.
okay. First of all, my reason to take this job is not the salary, is the things that it will give me, like skills that I will acquire in many, many years. The warm job environment that I've heard of from many different employees, former employees or current employees. But of course, I wouldn't say no to a good salary. But as a new employee, probably I will be accepting a low salary, like depending on the job, of course, you're going to give me, but maybe $2,000 per month would be a good thing, especially considering where I'm going to live, where I'm living right now in New York, Queens. So the average rent is $700, and I made a research about this place, so I need at least $1,700.
You went from 2,000 to 1,700.
That is
okay.
bad.
Let's think about this. So there's some options here, right? This is the worst question to be asked. It's going to be awkward probably, or even if it's not, you might feel like it's awkward, okay? But they don't, because they've asked everybody the same question. So try not to let your nerves show through when they ask you about money. Okay? The most important thing, first of all, don't bring money up. Like, don't, at the very beginning, right when you sit down and they ask, do you have any questions? Don't go, yeah, how much are you going to pay me? No, don't bring that up right away. You have to earn the right to ask them how much you're going to be paid. But when they ask you,
What?
there's a few options. First thing you could do is tell them, like if they ask you how much are you looking to be paid, you could say, what sort of salary were you thinking? You can turn it around and ask them. You can do that. That's okay. Okay, you could say, well, what sort of salary did you have in mind? And if they throw it back at you and say, well, what do you want? Which they might. They also might say, well, this is generally the starting wage. So my advice would be to kind of throw the ball back to their court in a polite way, say, well, I'm not sure, how much were you thinking, or what sort of salary did you have in mind? I'll type that. Because they know what they want to pay you. They know. But if they throw it back to you and they really want a number, to answer Moro's question, it's better to be realistic than to go too low.
Yeah.
If you go too low, like beyond modestly low and just too low to try to impress them, you might end up not getting paid very
Yeah,
much when
non-competence
you
maybe.
actually could have been paid a lot more if you were,
I don't
if
know,
you were
maybe the,
realistic. You want to answer, so okay, so MJ, to answer your question, first thing I would recommend doing is passing the ball back to their court and saying, what sort of salary did you have in mind? If it comes back to you, then be realistic.
Teacher?
Tell them what you think that your job will be worth, how much work you're going to do, and what it will be worth. But also I would mention that of course it's up for negotiation, but I was thinking somewhere in the blank range, right?
Okay.
Research beforehand, okay? Before you go into an interview, research and see if you can figure out what their starting salary generally is for this type of job, so you
but
know how to
maybe
answer.
something like that could happen. For example, there is a minimum level and the maximum level in their minds, and you don't know that. But if you go below that level, probably they will be saying you're not competent enough and you're
Right.
not seeking for better and better. If you go up that thing, probably they will saying you want too much, and we don't want you in our company. But
Yeah, this is
also,
a
I think
problem.
Yeah, it's a tough
human being,
question. It's a
yeah.
tough question. No, it is, and it's
Yes.
always a tough question. It's a tough question for everyone, right? So you want to answer realistically. Like, how much do you realistically feel like you should be earning for this job?
But many
If you go
companies,
too low, they might think that you don't consider yourself worth a certain amount of money, which to them will be like, oh, well, they're not going to do very good work if they
but
only want to get paid.
I saw in some applicant forms like this will be the money that we will be giving to you, like $10,000 and plus.
Mhm.
So maybe this question will not be asked to me, depending on what job am I
Totally
seeking.
depends on the job. It depends because they don't all, sometimes jobs advertise the salary, sometimes they don't.
So,
So
for example, what kind of jobs?
regardless, the topic will probably come up, even if they're not asking you. Probably. Sorry. Oh, it's cutting out.
For example, what kind of job?
Sorry, I'm having connection problems, I guess. Um, it's not a certain kind of job. It just depends on the job. It just depends. Some positions list the salary that you'll be starting at, and others don't.
Yeah, by the way, it's off
So,
topic, but I first see your face, like emotion,
Jose, did
then
you
I
have a question?
hear you.
Sorry.
Hello?
Hi, Jose. Sorry, guys. It's my connection, I guess. I don't know what the problem is. Jose, did you have a question about the salary thing?
I don't know. Uh, how much? I don't know. It's the same. What are your objectives for the salary?
Yeah, I just thought somebody had a question, but I think it might have been Karar, and he left. So that's okay. Does anyone else have a question about this uncomfortable and tough salary area? Do you want some words, like how you can word things, or?
How I will either screw up or
No, I mean, go with your gut, you know? I mean, if in your gut you're saying, well, I think I should get $900,000 a year, and you know in your mind that that's outrageous to start, right? Then don't say it.
and they will be
Don't, you
pointing
know,
at the door.
yeah, you need to be realistic, but also be open and say, well, I don't know. I was thinking maybe something around in the, you could say in 40 to 50. Something in the 40 to $50,000 range. But of course, I'm completely open to negotiation. Okay, that's one way to word it. I was thinking something in this range rather than giving them a number. You could say in this range, but I'm open to negotiation. But of course, I would welcome a further discussion on the topic, is another way to say that. Okay, so you don't want to be too demanding either. Say, well, I made this much at my other job, so I expect you guys to pay me this much at this job. That's not a good way to answer it. You want to be very open and showing them that you're willing to work for what you'll be paid. If I say, I think my salary will increase because my skills in the future, but now I not to understand. So, oh, what's that sound? If I don't know if I understand. If I like, I think. Okay, so MJ, you're saying that you're not expecting a huge
Yeah. So first time maybe I just say
salary,
lower.
but you'll work your way up. Yeah.
Because I think sometimes if I say, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, if I say some high or sometimes low is some companies, especially the boss are more attend these questions. Because if I say just a middle, if some is sometimes the leaders they don't believe that this kind of person because some if you believe yourself, they always say maybe high salary. It means you trust yourself. Or maybe you already do very high skills. It's like something like this. But if you say just middle of them, it means is just it's just a normal or maybe something. But it depends on the job. But
Yeah,
if I
depends on
say
the
like
job.
this, yeah. If I say like this, maybe future will increase. But now something like
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You could, if you're if you're really uncomfortable dropping numbers, like that just is not okay for you, you're just not comfortable, then you don't need to. I mean, you can say something like, well, you could throw it back at them, and if they say, well, we're really looking to know what you want to be paid, you could say that you're fine with starting at whatever their general starting salary is, and you intend to work your way up and earn a higher wage or something like that. So you can tell them you understand that you might not start at the highest wage ever, but you intend to work your way up, right? If you really don't want to drop numbers, you don't have to. You can work your way around it. But it is, if they're really pressing, which they probably won't, but if they are, then you're better to give them a range. Then like, I want $42,500 a year, and that's that. They're gonna go, okay, ouch, there's the door, right? So Goliath, yeah, you're not going to be asked this question in every single interview. I'm throwing you guys some tough questions today on purpose. Not every interviewer is gonna sit you down and ask you like, what is your philosophy on life? How much would you like to, they're not always going to ask you the hardest questions ever. But
if you were an animal, which animal you would be?
Yeah, they'll probably throw in one or two tough ones, and it's not a bad thing for money to come up in an interview. I mean, you do want to know what you're going to get paid, don't you? Right? So, any other questions? I know that's a tricky one. Should we go on to another question?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next. Who hasn't answered yet?
Roseanne.
Roseanne. Roseanne, are you there?
No response.
No? Okay, so everybody else has answered once, I think. Jose, did you answer a question?
No.
No, okay. This one's for you.
Yeah, but I haven't.
Jose, what are your goals for the future?
What are yours?
What are your goals for the future?
For my future, my goal is to be a job who allow to be a lot of free time to enjoy with my family. maybe a job uh, I can work by my home, and, and it will be a good salary, and it can allow to have a good life and to earn money to pay all the things all the things I can buy.
Okay.
And I would like a job. It was interesting and I like it, and I can talk with people and meet new people and had a lot of benefits for the company.
Okay. So this would be a follow-up question. I might say, so where do you see yourself in the future of this company?
Sorry, repeat.
Where do you see yourself in the future of this company? So this is a follow-up question. I might ask you, where do you see yourself in the future, or what do you look for in the future? And then I could follow up with, so where do you see yourself in the company? So how would you word that?
I would like the company has a lot of benefits and it was good with the sellers and with who has a lot of customers and don't have problems, finances problems.
Okay. So I want to caution you when someone asks you in an interview, what are your goals for the future? The answer that they're looking for is something either related to their company, the job that you're applying for, or that field, or something. So if someone in an interview asks you, what are your goals for the future? Probably not the best idea to talk about your retirement or anything, right? You want to be honest, but you want to think maybe a little bit nearer future rather than, 40 years down the line. You want to think, okay, where do I see myself in this company in the next 5, 10 years? And show them that you're a good investment. You want to show them that that it's good for them to hire you because you're interested in staying with the company for years to come. Employers look for that, for people who are interested in getting involved for more than just 5 minutes, more than just a year. So it's good to try to show them, oh, I see myself doing this. So I gave you some sample answers. One way you could answer it is my long-term goals involve growing with a company where I can continue to learn, take on additional responsibilities, and contribute as much of value as I can. So this answer is you're answering their question, but you're recognizing that what they're really asking you is, where do you see yourself in the future with us, right? Even though they're just asking about the future, they want to know about your future with them in the company. Another way you could answer is actually with a question. You could say, in the blank corporation, in this job, what is the typical career path for someone with my skills and experiences? It's okay to ask them questions. If you have questions for them, ask them. It shows them that you're interested. So if they're asking you, where do you see yourself in the future? You could say, well, where do you see me in the future? Is it possible to move up and grow in this company? Where do you see me in the future? So you can ask them questions too, especially at the very end. When they ask you at the end, do you have any more questions for me? You should ask them something. Try to think of something. It's good. It shows that you're interested. Furkan, you have a general question?
Yeah, generally in an interview, to what degree is it acceptable to be straightforward, or is it good to be straightforward, to answering questions without tap dancing?
Without too much flowery stuff?
Yeah.
It's good to be straightforward, but you don't want to, you just have to be careful about what you're being straightforward about. When you're talking about previous jobs, be careful. Because when you answer those questions, they're thinking, how is he going to talk about us? You know? So that, when it comes to that, you're going to need to tap dance a little bit. When it comes to when it comes to salary, you can be straightforward, but you don't want to be so blunt that you come across as like super full of yourself, right? When they're asking you questions like what we did last week, I think it was last week, with the strengths and weaknesses, when they're asking you questions about yourself, your experiences, your qualifications, it's better to be honest and to be straightforward about that sort of thing. Like, I've done this and this and this, and all of this applies to this job for whatever. So it's good to be straightforward to a certain degree. It just depends.
Yeah, so I have to change or modify my attitude or not attitude, how I talk according to the situation. Like, if you're in a pickle, like, or in a tin ice, you have to change.
Because you don't want to come across as a total fake, right? You don't want to just lie your way through the whole interview, because they will pick up on that. But you do want to be professional and not be honest about things that you shouldn't be sharing, right? So just be professional, but you can still be honest, especially about yourself. That they might ask you, so what do you do in your spare time? What sort of hobbies do you have? Just answer the question. Like, maybe they just want to get to know you a little bit. You know, you can be honest about that stuff. You don't have to be like, oh, like, I own a yacht and I go on, you know, make up some big story. No, right? So it depends on the question. But use your judgment, you know? Does anyone have any other questions? That class went by really quickly, I feel like. I have so many more questions, but we'll do it again next week.
What about the mistakes that we shouldn't make?
Yeah, maybe we'll do that next week. Go over what not to do.
Can you list them? At least list them.
Yeah. So we don't have time right now, but you could paste that link again if you want. This is a good link. So if you guys liked this class, next week at the exact same time, we'll have the same class, just with other questions, more practice. Okay?
It's like after 3 months, you will get a job without any effort.
Go into an interview and go, I got this. I totally practiced this question. Yes. Okay. Mauro, were you asking for the chat?
I'm sorry?
Did you want the text in the chat? The text from the chat. I can...
Oh, yeah. To save the text.
Yeah. I'm just going to do that right now, and then... Here we go. I just opened Google Drive. Do you see it? Do you see it there in Google Drive?
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's the whole thing or not. Let me see. Oh, that's not all of it.
What are you copying right now?
The chat.
Whole chat.
Yep. That's not the whole thing, though. Give me a second. Almost done. Okay, here it is. Copying. It's a long chat, okay?
Yeah.
There we go. I got
Okay,
it.
perfect.
That's not the whole thing, though, right there. I'm just going to paste it again. And, okay, I gave you guys my link to my Facebook, so you can check it out there. Mauro, take a look at that document now. That is the whole chat. Okay? It's
Okay,
long.
thank you.
You're welcome. Hopefully I'll see you guys next week for this class again. I'm teaching the next 2 hours. It's pronunciation, so we're going to read a play script, and I will correct your pronunciation in the next 2 hours. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.